I have rated this content E for everyone. Hello Internet, welcome back to the Digital Age Monster Club. My name is Mark, and this is Minecraft Monday. Finally going at the end, or after the end, I should say. And, this is the end has changed a lot since the last time I actually went in. That was like 2015. And on console, so it was a few versions behind, but they've changed it a bit, and I've had to familiarize myself with a lot of the new stuff they put in. Biggest thing is that they changed how the Ender Dragon fights, and he's now very annoying. Not impossible, just annoying. So, first of all, things you're not going to need. Water bucket and torch. You can get set on fire. Very unlikely. And with everything else, you're not really going to need it. Then, the Ender Dragon has a habit of basically destroying blocks, and the only blocks he won't destroy are the ones that are supposed to be indestructible. So, at least in the end. So, we have, there's end stone, which you can mine a lot of in the end. Obsidian, iron bars, bedrock, which is basically unusable in creative. And there's a few other things, but those are the big ones. So if you wanted to build stuff that the End Dragon won't destroy, you need to use endstone, obsidian, or iron bars. I'm also going to recommend that you don't bring a lot of cobblestone. If you've done this fight before and you know what the towers are, don't use cobblestone, actually use ladders. Because first of all, cobblestone, you either have to build a stair mechanic or rebuild the tower, and you get knocked off plenty of times, so that's very inefficient and you need to bring a lot of it otherwise. Ladders, you just replace what's lost and you keep going. So there's that. This is a good opportunity to use enchanted golden apples or regular golden apples. Very helpful. And potion of healings. Don't do this without them. There's at least like 12. Arrow of Harming works great. You can use a bow with infinity and regular arrows if you're so inclined, but it does a little extra damage. And I hope that you've gotten very good at using the bow and arrows, because it is helpful. Full stack of food, which can heal, or it's not heal, restore a lot of hunger. So don't use cookies, don't use apples, use something like steak or bread. Then we have ender chests. Ender chests are a Eye of Ender, which was this thing, in the middle of 8 obsidian blocks. So build 2 of those, one for outside at the stronghold entrance, and fill it with whatever you need it to be. And then you're going to bring the second one into the end with you, and you can place it in the spawn point, but you need to remove it, because that will be, if you respawn the Ender Dragon or re-enter the end, I think that area gets reset, so you can't build a lot of stuff in that spawn area. So you can lose the chest and you won't lose the items in, but don't place it at other spots, because the Ender Dragon can basically phase through objects and will destroy anything that is not one of those indestructible blocks that I talked about. So the endstone, obsidian, or iron bars. So then, of course, I got to give you my recommendations here. So a potion of invisibility, potion of swiftness, and potion of strength. Save these 3 until you've destroyed all the end crystals. I'll go over those in a little bit. So that's going to be when you're actually fighting the dragon. Because at that point you want to be able to move fast, hit hard, and stay basically unnoticed by all the Endermen that are there. And I'll talk about that soon enough. And then for actual inventory, we have Shield with Unbreaking, which is the only enchantment you can put on that. Diamond Armor, all of it has Unbreaking 3, Protection 4, Feather Falling 4, Thorns 3. If you can get all those on your gear, good. Feather Falling, there are towers in the end, and if you fall off them, you're either going to die or take a heck of a lot of damage. And you want that or Potions of Slow Falling, which is this one right here. And remember, that takes the Phantom Membranes, which are very difficult to grind out. So yeah, don't go in there without at least 1 piece of armor that has that, the Feather Falling. Unbreaking lasts longer. It's just bonus. You don't need it. Unless it takes you 8 hours to do. I'm talking here. Go away. Thorns 3, because if the Endermen aggro against you, and if the Ender Dragon attacks you, they will take damage in return. And then Protection 4, because there's multiple kinds of damage that you can take, so it helps negate a lot of that. And then as for your sword, Unbreaking 3, Sharpness 5, Knockback 2, Fire Attack 2, Sweeping Edge 3, Looting 3. Those are all good to have. And then Diamond Pickaxe, Efficiency and Unbreaking, always good to have in a pickaxe. Silk Touch is optional. And that's basically it. Yeah, the Golden Apple, Enchanted Golden Apple, recommended. Arrow of Harming, recommended. Ender Chest just helps. This is all my personal recommendation, but it makes it so much easier. I'm not even kidding. I've done the fight 3 times now, just to try new tactics, and it's surprising what a few differences will make. So, that will do it for that. So, head and mode. Okay. Last check. Alright. So anytime you enter the end, you're going to enter a spawn platform, which is 5x5x1 of obsidian. So just go ahead and place your ender chest. And all this stuff around you is endstone. So just dig your way up. And eventually, you won't be far. If you spawn underneath the land like I did, you won't be far under it. You can spawn like out there or up here. You shouldn't spawn too close into the darn it. Dude. I'm busy. Spawn too far near the Ender Dragon fight zone, which is all that stuff over there. So that's the Ender Dragon. And if he hits the Endermen, he can actually aggro them against him. But they have basically no way of fighting him, since they have no ranged attacks, and he regenerates health. Guys, come on. God dang it. So yeah, you don't want to stay too unbelievable. You don't want to stay too near the edges since the dragon can literally just ram into you like he is. He's doing to me. And he'll knock you off the edge. So this is most of the end right now. This is the Ender Dragon Zone, I believe is the most accurate way of calling it. So then right over there are known as Ender Crystals. Now, for... how do I say this? You need to destroy those because they regenerate the Ender Dragon's health, but don't just go destroying them. I've actually found a better tactic that works, or keeps us as easy as possible. Firstly, you're going to want to choose the tallest towers first, and the iron bar towers first. This is the... what is this called? The Ender Fireball? Whatever. It's basically Dragon's Breath, which does damage. It knocks you around a little bit, and if you stand in it, it will continually damage you. Protection helps against that. That's the big reason I chose that rather than like blast protection or projectile protection. Because he will use Dragon's Breath a lot. And he has a actual Dragon's Breath attack, which he will basically coat a large area of ground with that Dragon's Breath stuff. It doesn't last long, but it covers a large area. It's very difficult to get out of. Okay. So then he also has a behavior where it's called perching. So he just lands on that little platform there. And that's when you want to hit him with your sword, because he will be invulnerable to arrows. So this is the tallest tower here, so grab your ladder and start climbing, and hope you don't get knocked off. And you want to do the tallest towers first, because the less Ender Crystals that are available, the more frequently he will basically dive bomb at you, kind of like that. That's why you need Feather Falling, because that would have killed me otherwise. Yeah. So if he does his ramming attack or the dive bombing, whatever, and he passes through your ladder, he will destroy it. Get off. Gonna just wait here. Just to subside a little bit. And also, when I researched this whole thing, when you destroy an Ender Crystal, the dragon will shoot a fireball at you. So I can see it just destroyed my ladder right there. So you don't really have enough ladder to climb every single tower. So what you're gonna need to do is go away, jerks. When you climb a tower, take the opportunity to destroy as many end crystals as you can get your arrows into. So that's why I did the tallest one first. Down. There we go. Darn it. Great. That's why you need the potion of healing. That's unusable right now. Always keep an eye on your both your health bar and your hunger meter. So don't be shamed or afraid of running between towers. Come on! Oh my gosh. Horrible thing. See, all the ladders have been destroyed here. Now, actually, at this point, the rest of the Ender crystals I can hit with my arrows. There we go. About that. So you don't need to continuously climb the towers to beat the dragon. But the more you can get from up there, the easier it is to aim to calculate the arrow's trajectory. So that's why I said that. But you want to get the tallest ones first because they're longest to climb and typically the hardest ones to get the trajectory right on. So like this one, partially blocked by. There we go. It's partially blocked by the tower itself. Now the dragon gets a little more free with his dragon's breath. Fireball. See, like this spot right here, this is actually his breath attack. It's a huge area. And if you're unsure if there are any Ender crystals left that you haven't destroyed, watch him as he flies by the towers. Or take the opportunity to whack him a few times and see if his health regenerates. Right now it is not. So I'm going to do what damage I can right now. Alright, then I'm going to go run to my Ender chest. Grab those potions that I have. Am I in the right spot for that? Should be. Yes. Oh no, I entered from this side. That's fine. So just be quick with the chest because if the Ender Dragon does his body slam attack, I guess you can call it, where he just dives at you like that, and you're near the Ender chest, he will actually he can actually destroy it. So now, I'm going to use my Potion of Invisibility, my Potion of Swiftness, and my Potion of Strength. You can see the effects are in the top corner, right corner. Alright, so the Enderman should ignore me. And invisibility won't work on the dragon, but the attack will. Potion of Strength will, I should say. And as you might notice, the Thorns is actually doing some damage to him. Not much, but every little bit helps. This is also the best opportunity to see that's his. This is the opportunity you want to take to get the Dragon's Breath in the bottle. This is why I hope you've got a decent aim with the bow and arrow. You can hit them in the air. And then just like that, Ender Dragon is destroyed. So, like I said, not terribly difficult. This one is possible solo. It's the Wither that's the nightmare. Is super challenging. That's it for the center area. So I'm gonna go put all those potions back. I don't need them now. Not that many, anyways. So when the Ender Dragon dies, he spawns a egg, and the fountain, if you want to call it that, in the middle spawns 4 torches, and that Ender Void stuff that you used in the stronghold to get to the end. And that will actually take you back to your spawn point in the overworld. So that, oh, I didn't even use my enchanted apples. So that, I'll take this and that. Then I shall keep the ladders and the ender pearls. And stone I don't need. Okay. So now that the Ender Dragon is gone, this is actually a fairly good spot to grind out experience from the Endermen. Because you can take them on one at a time. They always return to fight you. And with your gear as it is, see, look at what Unbreaking did. It saved it from dying. It took a lot of damage, actually. Way more than I thought it was going to. But, you know, with your sword as it is, and if you take the opportunity right while you still have the enchantments on, you can grind out a lot of it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Dragon Egg is unmovable unless you use, I think there's a piston method that can knock it off, but I don't think you necessarily would want to, because you can actually respawn the Ender Dragon. So there's something you can create called an I love how I'm actually invisible here in my armor. An item called an Ender Crystal. You basically spawn those same Ender Crystals, whatever they were. No, that's the actual Ender Crystals. You place one here on 4 corners of the bedrock structure here, this fountain. So one on each side. And then the Dragon Age will basically just hatch, another Ender Dragon will show up. There's only one big difference between the new Ender Dragon and the original Ender Dragon. The original Ender Dragon, when it dies, as you may have noticed, my enchantment level went up because of all the experience it dropped. It's supposed to drop, what was the number, 12,600 or something? Something like that. You basically, if you had absolutely no experience on you at all, you would go from 0 to 80. It's a lot of experience it drops. Any subsequent or Ender Dragons that you spawn only give out 500 experience. So still a lot, but not going to be like the same enchantment level grinding monstrosity that the first one does. Yeah, I see you. Go away. Go away. The fight will proceed exactly the same. So that's one way of grinding out additional experience. It's basically best used to get more Dragon's Breath. And, like, very little else. There's nothing else to it. So then, after the Ender Dragon dies, one of these things will pop up. And 19 more can pop up for... What the heck? Yeah, so as you can see, my invisibility is not really doing that much right now. They seem to have an issue with me. I don't know why. I'm not doing anything to them. That. A little bit. So, if you throw an Ender Pearl whoops. Did that wrong. If you throw an Ender Pearl through the... Ah, dang it. Okay, fine. We'll do this the difficult way. The easy way. If you throw an Ender Pearl through that void... it will transport you to the outlying area of the void. This stuff. So, look at this. Now, if you check your coordinates, whether if this is on console, you can use your map. In PC, you use your F3, and you'll notice, whoops, that your X, Y, and Z are not near 0, 0. You're now at, I'm at negative 313, 69, and 987. So, you can spawn on one of these small platforms, or you can actually spawn on that bigger area there, and a maximum of 20 of these things can be spawned on the center area, the Ender Dragon area, upon defeating Ender Dragons. So there's the Ender Islands, as the End Islands, as these are things called. They go on for a while. So I'm going to reset to creative just to move around a little bit faster. And this is interesting in its own right, because you have so that is a chorus flower. And those can be used to grow chorus plants. On chorus plants, on the other hand, drop chorus fruit. And it's an actual food you can eat, and when you do so, you're randomly teleported. So it's actually not so great to use in the end, especially if you're near a drop-off point, because you can spawn over the edge. The big thing that you can do with chorus fruit, if you put it in a furnace, it becomes popped chorus fruit, and then you can craft that into purpur blocks, which becomes a decorative material, and I'll show you what that looks like. But yeah, you can take Enderstone or Endstone to the overworld, and then take chorus plants over there into the overworld as well, and then have a chorus plant farm. And that's the big thing with those. So now to find an Ender City, or an End City, sorry. I keep saying Enders, not everything has Ender on it. Okay, so this is an End City with an End ship, luckily. And I'll go over all this, but real quick, I wanted to mention, I completely forgot about it, but you can actually spawn snowman in the end, and they will help attack the Ender Dragon, but at the point once you've taken down the Ender Crystals, the snowman are basically best used against the Enderman himself. But every little bit helps, so I'm not going to say no to that. Also, lava moves faster in the end, so if you place lava on the ground, it'll damage Enderman. It's not really going to do anything against the Ender Dragon. And when I say move faster, it spreads out to its maximum blocks faster, but it still stops at the 3 blocks out from the center, I believe it goes, unless it's going down. And then finally, in the end, the map, compass, and clock do not work properly because it is an unknown void, basically, and it has no night or day cycle, and there's no real spawn point. There's just a spawn-in point. So those 3 items are not particularly effective, and you don't need to bring them. So this is that's a shulker, and it hits you with a referred to as bullets. And the bullets affect you with levitation and some damage. Now the shulkers are mostly an annoyance, just because their attacks will only travel on either X, Y, or Z axes. They don't, so they'll go straight up or left, right, or sorry, up, down, left, right, or forward, backward, but they will not do like angles at all. Not particularly, they're hostile towards you, but they're not very damaging. They're not very threatening. And the only real big reason for their inclusion is if you put 2 shulker shells on top of a chest, you can then create a shulker box, and a shulker box is a transportable chest. By which I mean you can place items into that chest, then pick it up and move it, which is nice. And so in the End City, it's mostly based on levitation or climbing. Who's making that noise at me? Feather falling becomes really useful here, in case you accidentally wind up like this far off the ground from the levitation effect. So apart from that, you have, this is called an end rod. Its only real function is to provide light. And it's very inventive. You can actually craft them yourself with purpur blocks and blaze rods. And then this right here itself is a purpur block, purpur stairs, purple stained glass window, and bricks, which can be crafted from there you go, from end stone. And there's plenty of that, you can see. And it's decorative purpur. And then you have banners. They're, as far as I've seen, they only have the one design. So not really worth grabbing a lot of them. And then another thing about the shulker, they take more damage when they're open, and they've got armor when they're closed. Still vulnerable, but not not crazy. And they have a 20% chance to spawn when they reach like fatal damage, or not spawn, teleport when they reach fatal damage. So just keep that in mind if you suddenly lose track of them. Blah. Go away. Inside the end city, you can find chests and ender chests with some of the best loot in the game. And the ender chest here will spawn with access to your gear, if you have one in play already. I don't think it will have anything in it if you don't already. And then as for the gear that you can get, or the loot, I mean, those chests can have gold ingots, iron ingots, beetroot seeds, diamond, saddle, enchanted iron pickaxe, enchanted iron shovel, sword, helmet, chestplate, legging, boots, enchanted diamond pickaxe, shovel, sword, helmet, chestplate, legging, boots, emeralds, iron horse armor, golden horse armor, and diamond horse armor. So, and these enchantments are levels 20 to 39. So it's powerful stuff. And I'm just going to skip around the tower because their setup is going to be basically the same. And as a side note, end cities can be much larger than this. Multiple branching pathways and staircases and towers. This one's actually fairly small, apparently. But they have a chance to spawn a gateway to an end ship, which is this thing over here, which you should be able to get to with a ender pearl, or build over to if you're so inclined. And the end ship has a mast, or crow's nest, molten mast to a crow's nest. It has the only way of getting your hands on an ender dragon head. So the only way to grab that in survival. And then inside the ship you have an enchanting table, or sorry, a brewing stand. Can't believe I keep confusing that. With potions of healing in it. And then downstairs you have the best reason for the ship to exist. Gotcha. You have two chests with objects I've mentioned. And a frame that holds an elytra. Now the elytra, I have held off on talking about. Where the hell is that at? Right there. Elytra is one of the most interesting additions I've ever seen. Because it is basically a glider. Oh, hang on. There you go. So you control it with your up and down, not the space bar as I thought it was. And this can allow you to get down from very high places without damaging or hurting yourself, or traversing large distances by literally just gliding. Unfortunately, you can't wear one in addition to your armor, or your chest plate, which is kind of sad, but understandable. But hopefully they'll fix that in an update, because, I mean, you can carry a shield on you. So. Oh yeah, and then let me show you the shulker box. Go away. There we go. Alright, so give me a Cortus. Oh yeah, and the Chorus Flower has two stages. There's fully grown and stage 1. Fully grown, it will be purple, and which is stage 5, and stage 1 is just the white. So when they will grow no bigger, the flower will be purple. Where is the shulker box? Not here. Okay. So I will do this here. That's there. Shulker box. Shulker boxes can be dyed. Oh, right. So yeah, be careful about the levitation. You can bleach them out by putting them in a cauldron, and then they can be re-dyed. So if you just like that, place it, put stuff in it, mine it up, and then if you scroll over it, it will tell you what is inside the box. So I really wish that was the kind of thing that it was available earlier in the game, because that would be so helpful in strongholds, abandoned mines, just general exploration, Woodland Mansion, Ocean Temple. Very helpful to have. These are supposed to... Oh. Fit into... No, guess not. Whoop. No, I guess not. Okay. Thought I'd seen that the shulker boxes could go into a boat or a rail car, minecart, but I was mistaken. But and then one last thing is the shulker boxes. You can place objects inside shulker boxes. You cannot place shulker boxes inside another shulker box. So you can't do insane massive storage like that, which would be funny. It would also be tedious to try and figure out which 18th box you're looking for actually has the objects you're actually trying to find. So, and that is the end in a nutshell. I think I got everything. There's a few achievements or advancements related to this place. Mostly in terms of get to the end, activate the end portal, defeat the end dragon, respawn the end dragon, get an elytra, float 50 blocks into the air from the levitation effect. Very just amusing stuff. And none of it's really that difficult. And if you use my recommendations, like I said, is the Ender Dragon will be annoying, but not a impossibility, and certainly defeatable in solo play. And of course, last thing, once you go into the end from the stronghold, the only way to return to the overworld is either to die or use the fountain after defeating the Ender Dragon. So this is going to be one of the few times that I highly insist that before you decide to take on the Ender Dragon, you save your game. Because if you die facing the Ender Dragon, you do not want to go through the hassle of respawning, whether it's at your bed or at the spawn point, getting back to the stronghold, and then trying to collect any leftover loot, depending on how fast you got back. Especially, and then trying to equip it and keep fighting the Ender Dragon, all of which is currently aggroing you, probably with the Enderman as well. And you will lose all your enchantment levels while you're at it too. So, just something to keep in mind. But that will do it for this video. Man, that's a lot. But glad to get this one over with. It's if you have other people to do this with, do it with them. Because being the only target of the Ender Dragon is what makes it the most annoying part of the fight. You can also have multiple people climbing towers to destroy those Ender crystals at once, rather than trying to do it solo. So, definitely makes a difference. So, hope this video helped, and hope you enjoyed it. And hope you've been enjoying Minecraft so far. Not that many survival / adventuring videos left that I'm going to be able to do, because I'm going over most of it already. So there's just the hostile mobs and the wither, and there's something else. And then the multiplayer I'm going to go through. But that will be it for this video. So, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I hope you come back for more. But until that happens, as always, take care.